Closer home, Bharat today firmly rejected Chinese infrastructural projects in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir's Shaksgam Valley, saying that the region is part of its territory and condemning attempts to alter the ground reality. Now, at a press briefing earlier in the day, the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal said, Shaksgam Valley is Bharatiya territory. We have never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement signed in 1963. We have consistently maintained that the agreement is illegal and invalid. Listen in.
Shaksgam Valley is Indian territory. We have never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement that happened in 1963. We have consistently maintained that the agreement is illegal and invalid. We do not recognize the so-called China-Pakistan economic corridor either, which passes through Indian territory that is under forcible and illegal occupation of Pakistan.
1963 onwards, this issue remains. Again, critical matters, viewers, which have not been addressed over the last many decades, which continue to pose an imminent threat for Bharat. Now, this is that entire Shaksgam Valley region. You see that small delta, the triangle between Pak-occupied Kashmir and also Bharat. And the other side, you have Aksai Chin. Look at those critical parcels of land that are Bharatiya territory, but we have, in many ways, the Dushman sitting there. And what are we doing about this? Beyond platitudes. Is that not a fair question to ask? And more importantly, with the Chinese firmly embedding themselves there, we have allowed that entire road to be built on Bharatiya territory. And we have said, we have done nothing. We have said a lot. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra with us, Lieutenant General D.B. Pandey also with us. Namaste, Jai Hind, gentlemen.
Namaste.
Sir, being some plain speak here and honestly, with due respect, Jai Hind bolna kafi nahi hai, sir. It has to materialize also. Vande Mataram has to materialize. This is Bharat's property, the world should know. Beyond just saying it. What are we doing? They are building road after road. They are firmly entrenching themselves around us. Ambassador Saab.
Well, I'm glad you sort of started by saying that Shaksgam Valley was given by Pakistan in 1963. There's a history to it. It was given in 1963 because 1962 happened. And Pakistan saw an opportunity in giving about 5,000 square kilometers of Indian territory to China. And thereafter, the history became different for Pakistan-China relationship. Secondly, I think a large number of us in India do not know what exactly is POK. We think it's Muzaffarabad and that is it, just about 30,000 odd square kilometers. But the fact is that more than 70,000 square kilometers is Gilgit and Baltistan, which is what you showed regarding Shaksgam Valley. And that was the original Jammu and Kashmir. Gilgit-Baltistan and so-called POK and the entire Jammu and Kashmir was under Maharaja Hari Singh. And we had to part with that huge area in 47-48 operations. Now, the importance of Shaksgam Valley Road, to which you were alluding, is that this 70-odd kilometer long road was started in something like 2023 end or so. By last year, early last year, they had completed 37 kilometers. Probably by now, they may have completed the rest of it, knowing Chinese and the way they operate. Why is it important? It is important because the end point of this road is just below Siachen Glacier.
Yeah.
And from the other side, as you pointed out, Aksai Chin sits very close to Siachen Glacier. In fact, the line of actual control is just about 9 kilometers away from Siachen Glacier. So we will be squeezed from both sides. I'm sure General Pandey will have more on this. But the graver thing, and why is it that our ministry responded so gravely to the issue today is the entire circumstance facing India or enveloping India today. Trump is after us. He's not talked of any other country in the manner that he's been talking. Everyone knows that manner, almost on a daily basis. Why is it that he has singled out India, with whether it was about Operation Sindoor and his role in it, or alleged role in it, or the tariffs, for which he singled out India for the maximum possible tariff, which could increase to 500% if that resolution is strictly followed. So this sends out a strategic signal to those who are already inimical to India, I mean China and Pakistan. This could very well be the opportunity they are looking for.
No, Ambassador sir, the point is that 500% talk, we'll come to that in a bit. That's the latter half of following discussion. We'll come to that in a bit. But with due respect, sir, point is, if we are calling this our territory, we have to also show that we want to defend our territory. Is that not fair? Where will nations take us seriously if we don't go beyond platitudes? If we don't back our words with real intent? General Pandey, is that unfair? I'm not somebody who's warmongering here. It's about if America can go to the other side of the world in the on the guise of trying to protect its integrity and its people and American people, it can bomb nations and engineer regime changes. Bharat can't defend territory that it believes it's its own. 5 decades after this. Ji.
Yeah, Bharat can surely defend its own territory, and we are well organized and equipped for it. But please understand, it has taken you and your channel to 6 decades to talk about Shakshgam Valley or the areas which have been ceded, virtually not talked of in so many years. And Ambassador Dogra ji has really truly pointed out that somewhere for too long we were trying to brush all these things to ensure possibly peace will come, tranquility will come, and China's behavior will change, and maybe we don't have to go through a conflict-driven situation. And when the whole bouquet of national element of powers are considered, and you're looking where you are in the power projection scheme, you realize that possibly you need to focus on economy more so that you continue to engage rather than having a military force to apply, which you're referring to the Americans having gone and done in Venezuela and other places. So the bottom line today remains that firstly, we have taken, and if you recall, we discussed Shakshgam about 3-4 months back.
Yes.
On the same platform. And since then, it has again now taken this time to talk of about Shakshgam and what's going on to the side. And I keep on harping that our principal enemy and contestant is not truly Pakistan, it is China, which we need to manage. The challenge which comes about this area and why Pakistan chose to give in 1962, 1963, when this 1962 happened, they realized that it is better to reach out to the stronger guy in the region and give away this territory which they could not manage because this was across the Karakoram track, right?
Right.
The construction, by the way, this laid bare for a long time, and the compulsion for the Chinese to make this road has happened basically because the western route, which has gone through Gilgit-Baltistan, which even this will also go through, had some major challenges which are happening on that side because of this thing. So this becomes an alternate construct for them to be able to avoid those areas of challenges. For us, I commanded Siachen Glacier as a colonel. And I remember nearly 21 years back briefing the President of India when he made his first visit, Dr. Abdul Kalam. And my briefing was not about Pakistan and Siachen. And that point of time, in presence of very senior dignitary, I opened my line that today you are standing at a place which is sandwiched between China and Pakistan. And I, sitting here, I need to look back and in front both. Right now, they don't have forces and they don't have infrastructure, but eventually it will come. and therefore we need to look forward to it. So I'm just saying this is a very, very opening line in a statement which I made, and it's a huge
General Saab, if you just pause there, I'm just going to walk up and I'm going to show. I was watching this, viewers, when General Saab was talking. Interestingly, he makes this point. Let's try and understand this. This is where this is the map. Okay, so this is Jammu and Kashmir, and if you can just zoom in a bit for the benefit of our viewers, this triangle here, this is the Siachen. So this is where Lieutenant General Pandey is saying that the President APJ Abdul Kalam, when he was here, that's when he said, I've got Pakistan on this side, I've got China on this side, and Bharat is here, but there is enemy from both sides which is trying to straddle. Now imagine if Bharat had not sat and not captured Siachen Glacier. If Bharat had not captured Siachen Glacier, we would not have any oversight or any control, and this whole land parcel, this is Aksai Chin. This whole plateau is Aksai Chin. This is what, not a blade of grass grows there, and Nehru signed off. Now if this is what is signed off, imagine all of this would have been under Chinese control. This is Pak-occupied Kashmir, and this is the Shaksgam Valley. This is the Shaksgam Valley where the Chinese are now building road to connect from here. They're building a road over Aksai Chin, connecting over this place and into Shaksgam, and then west of Gilgit, and that's where they want to come down further. This is what they're doing. Yes, General Pandey, please. The next map will show how much of this road has been built. Yes, please.
Yeah. So the next level of illegality about this entire thing is, by the way, which possibly we need to talk about at the ministerial level, and I think Dograji will be able to elaborate more about it, is that this area belongs to Jammu and Kashmir. And, he highlighted this point that we don't often talk about these areas. We don't even talk about Gilgit-Baltistan, and we don't also want to talk about POJ, Jammu. If you look at it, the corollary and the very colloquial system, we talk of Kashmir and we talk of Muzaffarabad. We don't talk, because if you don't talk about it, how are you going to posture and think about taking? And I must confess, there is always a thought that will it be possible to take over? But I feel that if you have an intent, you make up our time and our opportunity will come to take over our areas, which are actually truly Bharat's, right? So we need to focus on that. The second is this issue being controlled by Xinjiang autonomous region.
Yeah.
So the control which is being managed here from Xinjiang by itself is an occupation by the Chinese, need to be highlighted and talked about in open forum. After all, while today international organizations are defunct, they are controlled by people who are far more power or manipulative. But the fact is that we need to keep on registering this part so that at the level of lawfare, legal warfare, we need to contest this while preparing. And today, when you say that why can't we take over physically,
right,
we have to understand that the balance which the government has to take or think about politically and geopolitically has to be.
General Saab, lot of respect, and I have a limited understanding of geopolitics and how it works. But this is how the Chinese have worked over the last 5 decades. They have just kept slicing without an open confrontation. Why didn't we learn from them? Look at this. Depsang, they have disputed and they have tried to occupy, slice, they have come back. Karakoram Pass and this region, again, slice, they have done. This is the Shaksgam Pass. And just like I said, this is Upper Shaksgam Valley, and this is the road. This is the road that's being built, the road 24-25. This is the Shaksgam Pass. This is the new road that's being built. This is Xinjiang or East Turkestan. Now, East Turkestan is again occupied territory. This is not Chinese territory. This is pawned off to them by the Pakistanis. It's not even theirs to pawn. This is Bharat's territory. This is Bharat's territory on this side. That's the Aksai Chin, which we've pawned off. And they are circling and they are pushing their intent. And if you look at what General Pandey was saying, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, can we just flip to the previous map, just the previous map image, please, to show where Gilgit and Muzaffarabad is, the earlier map. The larger map that shows India. Yeah, let's go back to the first map, please. Yeah, this is the first map. Now you see this. This is Jammu and this is all POJK. It's read as Pak occupied. This is POJK, larger Jammu. This is the narrative. There is this area which is POJK. and this POJK we don't talk about. We talk about POK. So again, control of the narrative and Jammu, all this greater Jammu, this entire region of Gilgit-Baltistan, which actually comes under Jammu, is again not spoken of. Jammu is not just this region. This is all Jammu, which is now being clubbed under POJK. So we have these issues of narratives, and we also have not followed the strategy to hunt and hurt the Dushman like they have tried to do. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra. And this is of immense importance at a time when geopolitically we see regime change after regime change, orchestration of the hegemonistic powers, while they continue to circle us, sir.
Firstly, I'm glad that General Pandey in his briefing 20 odd years back had focused on China. For a young officer, he was a colonel at that time, that was very astute strategic thinking. But since that time, China has virtually mapped out the entire area as its own. Since that time, China has been consistently saying that we know exactly where LAC lies, the line of actual control. Whereas we have been repeating ad nauseum that LAC is not defined, we are not very sure where LAC is. So if you are not sure of your own borders or of your own territory, then how can you go and say that we want to have control over this territory? That is point number one. Second, just lodging a protest that no, this is occupied by China or Pakistan and no road construction should go there. I'm afraid, I'm being a little blunt on this, but this is not going to make any difference at all. The difference is when you match your words with action. Unfortunately, we've not done it. There is a feeling that A, we do not know where our boundaries lie. B, that we do not wish to take on China, especially at a time when China seems to be stronger even than America in military terms. Thirdly, we are also not sure how much of cooperation between China and Pakistan would be in case of a conflict, despite knowing that they were like twins during Operation Sindoor. So the challenges are many, and I think General Pandey also hinted at a very important point of mountain warfare. Some of it we experienced during Kargil, and our men and officers did tremendous job in getting back that territory. Kargil was not a victory because we just got back our territory. Victory is when you take other countries' territory. So the challenges are many. We should have open discussion like Anand, you have been having. Not many other channels are doing this. And I think it is also time for India and its people to get to know what is realistic. And if it is not realistic, let's give that territory as we've been giving a lot of territory in the previous decades to various countries. But if we are serious, then we should not confine ourselves only to issuing statements.
True. Well, the other thing is it points towards a lack of long-term vision, because we are facing problems in the Siliguri corridor. We are facing problems at the Kartarpur Sahib and that side. Places where we had the opportunity to take 20-25 kilometers of territory, swap, whatever, at that point in time. And in the long term, it would have saved us so much of geopolitical heartache and also security, national security concerns. There's another angle, sir. Look at how the Chinese are embedding themselves in Pakistan. Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details that Pakistan has made a fresh set of security commitments to China amid growing concerns in Beijing over the safety of its citizens and investments in the country, particularly those linked to China-Pak economic corridor. Top security sources reveal that Islamabad has agreed to allow the establishment of Chinese security posts described by officials as inner posts inside Pakistan, marking a significant shift in bilateral security cooperation. Pak's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi during his visit to Beijing reportedly signed a confidential agreement with China's Ministry of Public Security. Under the arrangement, Pakistan has assured China of a broader and more robust security framework, including the creation of special protection units or SPUs dedicated exclusively to safeguarding Chinese nationals. Now, these SPUs are being established across major urban strategic locations including Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, Quetta, Sukkur, Peshawar, Gwadar and in Gilgit-Baltistan. That's Pak-occupied Jammu Kashmir. It's not even sovereign territory of Pakistan. The units will work alongside existing military deployments that already protect key CPEC installations. Ultimate snub to failed Marshal Munir, yes, but more importantly, China now having boots on ground inside not just Pak territory but Pak occupied territory. General Pandey.
So look at the contradiction. While Pakistan is willing to go for money and get deployed in Gaza, fight for Saudi Arabia, go to against the Houthis and against Yemen as a front force or a proxy of certain Arab nations, and of course for American security purposes, cannot manage its own territory is a big exposure, and allowing the Chinese forces on their own territory to protect the Chinese or their own assets is something which no professional army or no self-respecting country or the government can allow to do. It's a big come down, but there's a challenge for us, right? Any boots on ground for the Chinese on towards our side adds in Pakistan adds to a different level of commitment and different level of intelligence gathering and monitoring which happens. It is going to be very intimate, and that we have to be very careful of. I must also tell you that in last about 20 years, last 10 years, 15 years, in the garb of trying to protect the CPEC and look after the Chinese assets which are coming along with the BRI project, Pakistan has been able to raise more than three division forces, two very clear, and much more than that they have been able to raise through the funds which have been received by the Chinese and the Americans in last about 2 decades to protect. That adds to a certain degree of power parity in terms of military forces to be applied during operation when the time comes against our country. So that's a major thing. But I'll just articulate a few points which I have my view, what Dogra ji has said. One says that, look, when you brush something under the carpet for so many years, that goes away from your mind and it doesn't remain alive in the mind of thinking people who rise to some degree of importance at some point of time, and nations' fortunes rise, and there's a graph which happens. China will always not remain on top. But if you are not going to keep on talking about this issue as a narrative, the Gen Z youth or the millennial today will not know what was Bharat. Eventually, this, by the way, this territory of Gilgit-Baltistan, Shaksgam, Aksai Chin, and far more deeper into the plain of TAR is very likely. In fact, Aksai Chin and Shaksgam hardly has anything, right? So these are barren areas. We always thought, and if you recall, there's a statement given by a very top political leader, that not a blade of grass grows. Why should we go about that place? So when you have a mindset अपनी जमीन के बारे में अगर आप ऐसा सोचते हैं, तो naturally जमीन आपकी कोई लेके जाएगा. So that is very important, and I thought we discuss this issue. We need to keep on talking about what is the true line of our extent of our Bharat's territory, which will be reclaimed. I am sure it may not happen in 5 years, it may happen after. After all, China started this whole project in 1953. Right? That point of time, 53, China was nobody, non-entity. They befooled, they had a strategic deception rollout plan which was done, in which they befooled our top leadership by saying that Hindi Chini bye-bye is all fine and therefore we will remain restricted to our own areas. And every time they have befooled that nice guy, good guy kind of an attitude, this thing from our Indian strategic community, that okay, we will just pass time. The fact of the matter is there is no time to pass. While we may continue to deal with them on the economic front, we need to keep on talking hard to them that we know what you're doing, and by the time we are watching, we are developing our own capacities, and okay, we'll come back and take what is our due. If you don't do this, it is going to go away. And last 3 to 4 decades, why have we not invested into our military power? Why is it only last a decade we have started rolling out roads and infrastructure to reach out to the border areas? We are 4 decades behind in infrastructure, and we are trying to catch up. It's so difficult to catch up. The second is we are also so behind in our military infrastructure to organization to actually be able to match up not only in technology but in terms of equipment with the Chinese. So please understand that right now, to to thump the table and say, why can't we take it? Why can't we do this? We need to look back. Why did we not? But
Okay,
then
yeah.
we need to look at future,
Yeah.
have a plan, have a focus, and I'm sure there will be a time when the graph of China starts coming out.
At that time, we have to be ready, General Pandey. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're going to take it tomorrow. I'm not saying we're going to take it today. But like you said, that the Chinese are working on a 100-year blueprint. What is Bharat's blueprint and what is Bharat's purpose? And is there a blueprint that beyond political dynamics and political parties, the nation will follow very clearly to ensure that our future generations continue to live in a land that is Bharat, in a map that they recognize from their grandfathers and not that one that is altered? That's what I was trying to say here, that we have to realize that we have to go beyond just platitudes. We have to go ahead and show that we know not just how to guard our territory, but also take back and hold on to what is truly ours rather than just making platitudes. Moving on for the moment.